Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaskaram Friends. Salutations to Paramaguru. Experiences with Maha Periyava. It would have been in the year 1957. Kanchi Maha Swamigal and Sri Jayendra Saraswati Swamigal were camping in a house in Rameshwaram Road, T Nagar, Chennai. I was living with my parents in northern end of the same street. My age then was 22. I was studying in a secondary grade teachers training school. Sometimes Maha Periyava used to pass through my house, either during the morning or in the evening hours. I have often seen Sri Swamigal cross my house on the street. My mother at those times would be waiting at the entrance with a camphor plate after having drawn a column rangoli in front of our house. It became her custom to show the lighted camphor before Sri Periyava when he came in front of our house and prostrate to him. The progressive thoughts in my mind, a sense of defiance, the nerve of youth, the lack of maturity to distinguish between the good and the bad, all these came together when I chided my mother. This man is some sannyasi. Why do you prostrate to him? What do you gain by the act? You are thus prostrating to him in an uncivilized way continuously. Is he going to save you? Don't do wrong things hereafter. Hearing my indecent words, my mother said, "Poda, po! Mind your business," and went inside. Years rolled by. I started working as a teacher in the PS High School, Mylapore, Chennai in the year 1959. A few years later, my mother started suffering from a severe setback in her health, her BP shooting up. The VHS hospital at Taramani, Chennai had just then been established. I admitted my mother there for treatment. At that time, I was taking tuition at their house for their two sons of Mani Iyer, proprietor of Kalyani Hotel. The hotel is no longer there now. It was near Mylapore Kapali temple. His family was very devoted and loyal to Sri Maha Swamigal. They would often go to Kanchipuram and have darshan. They would consider doing service to his holy feet as their most enduring happiness. Mani Iyer was residing in a house in Mandavali near Mylapore. In the small puja room opposite the hall of their house, an adorned holy picture of Sri Maha Periyava was kept. A lamp would always be burning by the side of the picture. I would be sitting on the swing in the hall and taking class for those two boys. Since the puja room was always kept open, when Sri Periyava's picture came under my glance, a prickling sensation would arise in me. I would get down, go and close the puja room doors and then continue my teaching. It has happened several times this way. As I mentioned earlier, I was worrying over my mother's health condition and was teaching the lessons somewhat for namesake. Tears would fill my eyes. The worry and fear that my mother would pass away, leaving me alone, would surge through my mind. One day when the teaching was going on, Thiru Mani Iyer, who was just back home, asked me, "What, sir, you're worried? Your eyes have turned red. What is the matter?" Wiping my eyes, I said, "Nothing of that sort, Mani Iyer. My mother's health is not all right. Hypertension. I have admitted her in the VHS. That is the cause of my worry." Mani Iyer, "You showed her to a good doctor?" Myself, "I told you already that I have admitted her in the VHS." Mani Iyer, "What did they say?" Myself, "They said that she will be all right. No cause to worry, but I am not satisfied with their words." Mani Iyer, "Sir, let your worries go. I shall take you to a big doctor. Your mother will become all right by his mere look. Myself, is that so? Who is that doctor? My mother would be cured if she is shown to him. Where does that big doctor reside? When can I see him? Shall I bring my mother right now? There was anxiety in my reply. Also haste and enthusiasm, much anticipation, because my mother should get well completely soon. Mani Iyer, your mother need not come. It's enough only you come. Myself, Mani Iyer, the disease is not for me, but for my mother. If I come, how can my mother become all right? Should not that big doctor test my mother? Mani Iyer, not necessary. If that big doctor just looks at you, your mother will become all right. Myself, with some distress, if I'm seen, my mother would become all right. Such a kind of doctor, all right. If that is the case, I shall come right now. Come on, let us go and see him. Mani Iyer, you cannot see him just like that. He is not here. He is in Kanchipuram. Myself, in Kanchipuram? Why should such a big doctor reside in that place? Who is he? MBBS or MD? Mani Iyer, he is beyond those degrees. He is the doctor of the doctors, pointing to Periyava's picture in the puja room. He is the doctor I referred to. Myself, laughing loudly without being aware of it. What, Mani Iyer? This man, a doctor? He is the doctor of doctors? What do you babble? How can a sannyasi become a doctor? If it is a question of some puja or rituals, I can believe it. But then you talk of this man as a big doctor. Would it be possible for this sannyasi to cure my mother? This is just your imagination. The words came out of the edge of my sorrow. Mani Iyer, what, Meenakshi Sundaram? You, who is born in the Brahmin community, talk this way. Myself, then what, sir? After saying that you would take me to a big doctor, you now say that you would take me to a sannyasi. How can it be possible by this kind of an action? Mani Iyer, Meenakshi Sundaram, your mother should become all right for you. Only that, right? I am responsible for it. We go to Kanchipuram tomorrow itself, all right? Myself, with Klesha. Mani Iyer, if we go to him, will my mother really get well? Mani Iyer, certainly, undoubtedly. Enough if you have darshan of him and just speak about your mother will certainly get well. You can also remain in peace. Myself, in that case, I shall come to Kanchipuram. But when we are there, you should not compel me to remove my shirt, take bath, wear vibhuti kumkumam and do namaskaram. I shall come, see him, tell about my mother, that's all. The torsion of the young blood was not gone yet. Mani Iyer, what Ayya? Would you not take bath daily? Would you not remove your shirt occasionally, not wear vibhuti kumkumam even rarely? Do those things just once tomorrow. What will that drown your lineage? Without knowing why, I did not object but agreed to do those words of him. On the next day, the three of us, Mani Iyer, myself and Thiru Venkatraman, who worked with me, started and reached Kanchipuram in the morning hours. Taking bath in the Sarvatirtha Kulam and wearing vibhuti and dhoti, I reached the gates of Kanchi Srimatam for the first time in my life. And yes, there was a feeling of something like an electric vibration in my body. We entered the Matam. Kanchi Maha's Swamigal was in front hall. Yes, the big doctor. He was sitting and leaning on a rice bag. Fruit plates and garlands of flowers are seen before him. Also a queue for his darshan. We too tucked ourselves in that queue. A bamboo plate in my hand. In the plate were fruits, spinach and some vegetables. My glance fell on the aesthetic king seated there. Without any efforts, tears started to flow from my eyes. Yes, I wept without my knowing it. I didn't understand the reason why should I weep. His keen look that has divine light fell on me. Raising his head, that God gestured me to come to him. He might have known my sorrow with his provision. Again that talking God beckoned me with a raised hand. I walked slowly and peacefully to him, placed the bamboo plate in my hand before him and prostrate to him unknowingly. Are you a Ashtasahasram? A subsect? Yes. What relationship do Sheshadri Kunju in Karaikudi have with you? They are relatives of my aunt. Your grandfather was the palace receiver in Tanjavur. Was he before or after Sundramayar? I nodded head that I did not know it. Silence prevailed for some time. Raising his head, you have admitted your mother in the hospital. How is she now? What? That God asked me the same question that I came to him with, seeking remedy? For this too, I just stood sobbing with no reply from me. Don't worry, your mother will get well and return home. Yes, that big doctor had given a new lease of my life to my mother. That Mahan looked sharply at me for some time. Then giving me prasadam, he blessed. Give this to your mother, she will get back home very well. To this date, I heartily bow and adore that great doctor who vanquished the demon of ignorance in my mind and put me on the right path. As foretold by that the great doctor, my mother got well and arrived home safely. The big doctor had saved my mother's life. He is taking care of us until today. Author V. Meenakshi Sundaram. Source Maha Periyava Darshana Anubhavangal Volume 1. Arahara Shankara Jai Jai Shankara Kanchi Shankara Kamakoti Shankara. Bow to the Supreme. Peace be with all. Thank you. Namaste.